Hi, all, and welcome today. Thank you for tuning in. We are really excited to be back with another episode of our virtual alumni engagement series. This is a monthly video series where we sit down and we talk with a Manor College alum to hear about their experiences as a Manor student and what life has been like since graduating or transferring. Today, we are talking to Manor College alumni from the class of 2005, Alicia Carr. Alicia grew up in West Milford, New Jersey, and graduated from one of our flagship programs, our veterinary technology, earning her associate in science. Today, Alicia is the externship coordinator and ICU nurse at Hickory Veterinary and Specialty Hospital in Plymouth, Meaning. We are also joined by Dr. Sally Norrie, an instructor of veterinary technology at Manor College. Welcome, Alicia, and welcome, Professor Norrie.
Hi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You just gave me a little promotion though. I have a master's degree.
Oh, all right.
I am certified vet tech.
I was gonna say, I'm like, you're a doctor? I'm like,
Did I was say like, doctor? Sorry.
Yeah. I was like, wow, go Sally. When did that happen?
Well, thank you both for being with us today. It's really always fun to talk to vet techs. I feel like they have such great experiences and typically really fun stories to share. But Alicia, can you start us off by sharing with us, why did you choose Manor College? How did you find it back when you were choosing kind of what path to go in, and kind of tell us that story?
Well, I knew that I wanted to work in the veterinary field. I wanted to work with animals. And I had moved to the Philadelphia area in my late teens with my family. And I was looking for, I actually didn't know veterinary technology was a thing. I Googled the word animal nurse, because I was like, I really, really want to be a nurse for animals. I'm like, I'm not really interested in being a veterinarian, because of how long it takes to go to school and how much money it costs. And I wanted the more one-on-one patient care with the animals. I wanted to be an advocate for them. So I actually Googled it, animal nurse, and I got several. Manor came up, a couple other vet tech colleges like Harcum, and I just looked at the program online, and I went and took a tour of the campus and fell in love with everything. It was beautiful.
That's great. We love hearing that a good old Google search and you can still find Manor. That
yeah, and do you know, if you actually Google search on vet tech, like in this area, Manor's the first one that pops up still.
Yes,
like
I do know that.
Many years later.
We have such a strong Google history, I would say, with some of our flagship programs, that it naturally pops up. I call that an organic search result. Like, we're not paying to do that or anything. So thank you, Google. And I'm glad that you were able to find us in that way.
So, Alicia, what have you found to be the best part of being a vet tech now that you have years of experience under your belt?
Well, my favorite part about being a vet tech is definitely working on the patient one-on-one care. My favorite thing is working on a sick animal, or critical case, and seeing it leave the building, seeing that animal being discharged is definitely one of my favorite things. And also, I got my VTS in emergency critical care in 2015. So that's an extra certification, just to work on critical cases. So I like teaching too, and education. That's a big part of my job here at Hickory. We're all about education and a really good teaching environment here. So they welcomed me with open arms a year and a half ago, and I've been making waves ever since. So
awesome. Hey, tell us a little bit more about the VTS, because I think a lot of people don't realize the opportunities for vet techs that are out there.
There are lots of opportunities for veterinary technicians. You don't just have to work in general practice. You don't just have to work in emergency and specialty. You can work behind the scenes. There's a lot of actually corporate jobs. There's a lot of government jobs. You can work in labs. You can work in zoos. You can work at, pet food companies. You can work for the USDA. You can work on farms. You can work on lots of things. The only thing that would stop you is yourself, honestly. There are so many different jobs you can have. There's jobs you can have at your house when you're like a CVT. So my VTS is called a veterinary technician specialist. What it is you have to take a state boarded exam and collect cases for a certain number of years, get a lot of skills, take a really big hard test and pass it. It's not any, there's no like additional schooling or like, you know, in the collegiate sense, but it's more that I passed my boards to work on really sick animals. So I'm really interested in disease pathophysiology and everything like that in teaching. So it kind of like a good merriment of all of my skills. So yeah.
Excellent. And I know there's all different fields for a VTS.
Yeah. Oh, there's tons. And actually there's many different specialties. There's actually 16 academies that you can specialize in, anywhere from, you know, emergency critical care that I do, to zoology, to, you know, diagnostic imaging. There's tons, anesthesia. So dentistry, rehabilitation, the behavior, so cardiology, there's anything that you could possibly think of. So our degree is not limited at all. So you can do so much with it.
Awesome.
Wow, that's great to hear. I'm not in the vet tech world, so this to me is like so much of an education, and it's really inspiring to hear that like you really could go and do so many different pathways. Alicia, talk a little bit about, how do you feel that Manor, looking back at your education, how do you feel that your Manor degree prepared you for your first kind of job and your first roles, and then kind of looking back, you know, what you can see now, like, okay, foundationally, I still use what I've learned from Manor. Talk about that. How did Manor prepare you for this?
Manor actually had a lot of really good core classes that helped you everywhere from, like, you know, what to dress for an interview, how you build your resume, you know, getting your first vet tech job in a GP. They kind of molded a student to, you know, put them on the best pathway for success. I mean, they just do. They spend so much time with their student in and out of the classroom, preparing them for veterinary medicine right now in real time about what's going on, because a lot of the teachers, technicians, they have worked in the field. So they know exactly what it's like to be in the trenches. You know, they're not messing around. The director of the program was a tech for years before she was a doctor. So they get it. They understand what it's like. You know, they don't sugarcoat things. They're like, hey, this is, you know, really real world veterinary medicine in real time, and you're learning it. So, you know, you get a taste of how it really is, which is great. And they 100% prepared you for that.
That's great. And I believe the director at the time of the program was Dr. Joanna Bassert, who has since retired,
yes, she was.
Right? Yeah, she was wonderful, you know, wonderful person, and really a true advocate for not only animals, but for students. So that's great that you had the chance to work with her. What were some things that you were involved with at Manor? Did you do clubs or kind of get involved in like the campus life?
So I actually was involved in several things. I, like everybody, was part of the horse care team. I was also treasurer of my SCNAFTA chapter. So that's like a veterinary technicians have a national organization called NAFTA, and our student chapters are called SCNAFTA. So I was treasurer of that. Super fun. I also was part of our radiology safety committee. We had one of those back in the day. And I also flagshipped, we used to have this program called Happy Running Paws, where we would actually go to Native American reservations and spay and neuter cats and dogs for like at cost prices, like really like cheaply, I guess I'd say, you know, for people that, you know, are underprivileged, like really couldn't afford it. So we would have these spay and neuter trips to work in conjunction with a lot of Native American reservations in Arizona and New Mexico, and be there for usually 2 weeks in the fall and 2 weeks in the spring, and go there and spay and neuter animals and we would do the anesthesia. Everybody would volunteer their time, which was fabulous. And we would provide, community service to the community, and our technicians would get to practice and learn on
Right.
real patients, real animals.
That's awesome. Is that still an organization that's around today? Is that like a national thing?
They haven't done it at Manor in years.
Right.
Let me chime in, because I did a similar program, but with horses. So there are definitely programs out there. Our Vets is the one that I went with. We went to North Dakota, and we castrated a lot of horses on the reservations. It was fantastic. I mean, just a excellent opportunity,
like an out of world experience. I did it for almost 6 or 7 years every year, and it was 100% volunteer, but I got so much more out of that than I gave. It was
you learn so much, and you really give back to the community, and it's just a great learning opportunity on so many levels. But at least in North Dakota, that's the only vet they have for horses in some of those areas, once a year that come through. So everybody brings their horses to a big rodeo arena, and we're just there for days till everybody gets seen. And and I know that there's opportunities abroad and in places like Mexico, and there's you can go help out with donkeys in Egypt. So there's a lot of volunteer opportunities out there.
Totally. 100%. Not just in the US, but it's some parts you'd think that you would have to go, abroad or go to a different country, but there's so much need in our country for that, for, affordable vet care. And a lot of there are hundreds of veterinarians that I know personally and like Sally, that volunteer their time, that volunteer, hours and hours a year just to help out the community.
Another volunteer opportunity that one of our faculty members is involved with, Beverly Bisaccia, she volunteers with the Humane Society of the United States whenever they have kind of an emergency situation, either like just a straight up welfare situation, or if there's some sort of catastrophe, weather
like a hurricane or something.
And she'll go and help help out with the animals there too. So
somebody has to help them. It's our
totally
jobs.
Yeah, that's great. So Alicia, tell us, how did you get your first job? Like your first job, you're a fresh CVT, you passed your boards. What happened? How did you get your first job?
My first job I actually got through my externship. I was an extern at, it was called CARES, Center for Animal Referral and Emergency Services. It's now Blue Pearl, Langhorne, and I actually got it through my externship, which is great because now I'm in charge of externships and in charge of community outreach to all of our fabulous colleges. And I have made so many friends through this arena, which is great. And that's actually what I do at Hickory now is I'm in charge of all the students, learning, education. So I'm on the floor a couple of days of the week and then off the floor. And I'm here basically, Hickory hired me for the students. They are trying to really put a stake in investments in their technicians. And I'm part of that plan, which is really, really wonderful of them to do.
One of the great things about our externship program is that it really prepares the students to interview for real jobs. They have to interview for the externship. And it's such a good learning experience for when you really need to go out there and interview for jobs. But a lot of our students do end up getting hired by their externship sites. It happens all the time.
It's like a 6-week job interview. I have 2 students right now that are fabulous, and that, it gives you such an idea of what's happening in veterinary medicine right now. It gives you the clinical skills. You get to actually put your hands on the patient. You're not just reading this in a book, you're enacting what you've been doing preparing for the last 2 years to do. You get to do the blood draws, you get to do the diagnostics, you get to do the anesthesia. So So being able to execute that at a place that, you know, mentors students and, you know, basically wants them to thrive, like Hickory, it's just fabulous. Speaking of students, come here. It's okay. It's okay. You can come say hi. I have a student right now. Come say hi.
Lisbeth.
Lisbeth. Hi, Lisbeth. Okay. Oh, you can go ahead. You'll be in the front. It's okay. Don't worry. They're cool. Don't worry. Yeah, it's all right. There's like nowhere to go to hide.
Lisbeth is on her externship, and she was one of our horse care team captains.
Yes.
So, which is Alicia mentioned being on the horse care team. We do have 4 horses here at Manor that require care 365 days a year, and our horse care team captains are in charge of scheduling that and ordering everything and just the daily care. And Lisbeth did an amazing job with that.
Lisbeth did do an amazing job as a horse care team captain. Are you having fun here so far? Okay, come over. Just say hi. Say hi real quick. Here, say hi. Are you having fun? Yes, I'm having a lot of fun.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Oh my God, I didn't even recognize you. Hi, Sally.
I know, I'm all let my hair down for the summer.
How are you?
I'm good. We miss you, but I'm really glad to see you're there with Alicia.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You like it? You love it at Hickory?
Yes. Thank
you.
Good. Hey, thanks. Thanks, Elizabeth. Bye. Sorry.
That is so fun.
That was awesome.
No, that's awesome.
Perfect.
I like doing things on the fly.
Planned that better. We could not have asked for that to be any better. Here comes a Manor student just walking by.
I know. I planned it. I planned this all.
Right. Good
actually.
Job. Good job.
Awesome.
Well, Alicia, I wanna be mindful of your time. Obviously, you're a very busy woman, but what kind of would you say is your advice that you would give to Manor students, whether they're current vet tech students or they want to be a vet tech student? What advice would you give them?
Always be always listen to your patient, always be a patient advocate. You know, it sounds redundant, but we are their voice. Like, you know, we were saying, there's all these communities that need help with patients and animals that, you know, not everyone's going to do it, you know, and not everybody can handle being a vet tech. You know, frankly, it's not an easy job. Our burnout rate is so high right now, you know, so it's really important to take that time for yourself and work at a place that, I think this is super important. Work at a place that when you're interviewing there, interview them too. You know, see what kind of benefits they have, see how their turnover is. You know, you want to make sure that you're at a place that is going to, you know, that has a positive culture, that you're going to learn, that you're going to advance your technical skills, that, you know, really care about their employees. So, it's really, really important to think about stuff like that. And you're an adult. You're going to have to think about things like rent, food, job, you know, you have to earn a living wage. So that's super important too. So don't ever underestimate your worth.
That's not only good advice for students, but that's good advice for life, I would say.
For life. Yes,
for
exactly.
Everyone. I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Do it. Well, thank you, Alicia. Sally, do you have any final questions or thoughts you want to share with Alicia?
I mean, I just think, you know, that's excellent advice there. The career path is just getting better and better. Recently, there's really been some improvement with the pay all over, and techs are in very high demand, and practices like Hickory, the reason they're investing so much time and energy into student techs and keeping their techs happy is, you know, retention is important. So
it is.
You know, there really some big improvements in the field lately, and it's a great time to go into.
It is.
That techery, as I like to call it.
that techery.
Yeah.
You coined it.
Yep.
That's great. Well, thank you all so much for your time today. It's been fun learning and chatting. And Alicia, it's so good to hear that alumni are out there who are working with other Manor College students and encouraging each other and really just being a force for good particularly for animals. So thank you so much for all that you do. And it's a great service for so many. We wish you nothing but the best, and have a great summer.
Thank you. You too, guys. Thank you for having me. We appreciate it. And
Thanks, Alicia.
you're
See you
welcome.
soon.